Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Have a look at this. This is like a fun park for me. Have a look at all the diggers in the background, implements everywhere. It is just wall-to-wall Cat equipment, the best in the world, no doubt about that. And if you are an excavator, liker, digger, operator, whatever you want to be referred to as, stay with us because it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Now, registration, just a reminder to all people out there that you've got to register. Our next prize draw is just 30 minutes or so away. So make sure you go to www.williamadamscatlivefestival.com.au for all of that. Now, this next guy, I need to read this because this guy is a legend of what Cat have been doing over many, many years. A former ex-diesel mechanic, of course, 30 years experience in the game, 30 plus years experience with just Cat diggers. So if there's anything you need to know about diggers, this is the man, and he's the product manager here as well. None other than Glenn from William Adams. Glenn, over to you, mate. We want to hear about this lovely machine you've got behind you.
Well, thank you very much for the very kind introduction, and it's certainly my pleasure to show you through where it all started. We're here to talk about next-gen products, but this is where it all started with the next-gen excavator range in the 20-tonne class, what we call our medium excavator range, and I'm going to take you through this new 13-tonner in a minute. But really what I want to do is take you back to where this all began, back to where the next-gen platform or the program for Caterpillar that you're starting to see roll out there really started, and that was in the excavator market. And why in the excavator market? Because this is the most voluminous product in our region. About 75% of what we sell is excavators. So there was a lot of energy put into that market, and that was very much a Me Too product. This was a chance for Cat to really put a statement and take excavators to the next level. Now, back when we launched these in Australia, William Adams was the first to launch the next-gen excavator range, and that was back in February 2018. When we launched them back there, we did a marketing tag with the Transforming brand, and we talked about transforming the industry. But it was more than just a marketing tagline. It really was the whole mantra for what the next gen stood for. And what I'm going to do today is take you a little bit around some of that stuff. This is the stuff you don't see in brochures. This is the stuff you might not find out unless you dig really deep on the internet. But talk to you about the secret of success of the whole next gen range of equipment and how that's playing out across all the products you're going to see today. And the best way to do that is really stop and think about an analogy that I like to use, and that's think about this thing. Think about what the iPhone did to the smartphone industry when it came out in 2007. If you can remember back that far, you remember how much of a game changer it was. But there's actually a lot of similarities to what we achieved when we went to the next-gen excavator range. So just like an iPhone back in the day, it looked really sleek, really stylish, solid hardware, really cool lines. You had to have one, yeah? Just like the next-gen excavator. Think about what the other thing this brought was. Embedded in that really nice looking bit of hardware that everybody lined up to want to buy was some really clever sensors. GPS location, elevation, orientation. All of those sensors were built in. That's the hardware. That's the bits you can see and touch and feel. That's what the iPhone brought to the smartphone industry. Next, what did it do? Well, you can have all of that. You can look really good. You can have all those sensors. You can have all that power and all that. But you've got to have software, and it's got to be easy to use. What did the iPhone do? Really easy, simple to use, and we use things called apps. We actually refer to the technology on our next-gen machines as apps as well, because we do the same thing. We just use different parts of apps to get in, touch all those sensors, use that data, and do a whole range of things today, which I'm going to talk to you about, and a whole range of things we're going to be able to do in the future. And I'm going to talk a little bit of that as I get around. So think about it. The secret to the success of your technology is about making it standard. Next Gen, first one to do that in the industry. It's about making it simple, like the smartphone did. Next Gen, first one to do that in the industry. And it's about making it easy to use. You can have all the technology in the world, but if people can't use it and it's not easy to use, it's worth nothing to everyone. And that's the secret of the technology aspect. So think about your Next Gen excavator, whether it's this 13-tonner or even our 90-tonner, that whole range. There's basically 5 levels of technology that are going to come out. You've either got them or are coming out for that machine as standard out of the box. First one is 2D grade. 2D grade means if you've got a known reference point and you want to dig relative to that reference point, it's going to tell you where you are. So you're going to know where that dig depth is, you're going to know where that trench is. Then we have what we call our assist features. And as the name suggests, it's about assisting that operator to get more productive. We have assist on the bucket, we have assist on the boom, we have assist on the whole machine. So we actually go into semi-autonomous mode, which I'll talk about. And we've got assist on the swing, so we always come back to the same spot once without needing an input from the operator. That's how clever that side of things is. So that's the second level of technology, standard out of the box. Remember, this is not an option. E-fence. Because we know where that machine is, because we know where the bucket is, we can put a whole layer of safety that just hasn't existed from a manufacturer out of the box before. And that's basically, we can set limits for the height, we can set limits for the floor, we can set limits on the sill, we can basically prevent the machine going where you don't want it to go. The other one is payload. Think about your excavator. We can now also tell you how much material is in that bucket when you're loading out. Really, really important to know how much material you're moving. We'll come to that again as well.
Hey Glenn, just on the limit thing.
Yep.
So if you're digging under power lines, you could set this so it could not possibly touch that. You could set the height limit.
No matter how fast you're digging, no matter how aggressive you are, you can set a ceiling, you can set a floor, you can set a vertical wall, and you can set a slew angle. Think about, BT, if you're working on the side of a road doing drains,
Yep.
you didn't want to accidentally slew into that oncoming traffic, you've only got one lane blocked off.
Yep.
You can set that up so the operator, there's no way he can
Can't
enter
go
that
there.
workspace. Out of the box technology. The other one that we've just recently added, and this is a new app that customers, when they bought the first machines in 2018, got this app for free, is Lift Assist. And Lift Assist is basically when you're lifting suspended loads. And we're going to show you a live demo of that because that's an industry-leading feature, particularly here in Australia with all the regulations around suspended loads. I want to reinforce, this is all standard, this is all factory, it's backed by the same supplier, the same manufacturer, the same warranty. No add-ons. So think about it. Think about what I've just said to you. This machine knows where the bucket cutting edge is at any one time. It also knows what weight's in that bucket at any one time. If it knows those two bits of information, I can dig my trench to grade, bang on grade, so I know exactly I'm the right depth or the right slope.
What does it look like when it gives us that information? Is that's on screen?
Real time on screen. It's
Right.
going to give me my bucket angle
Yep.
if I got tilt. It's going to
Yep.
give me my bucket rotation, and it's going to tell me real time on that screen exactly where I'm at relative to grade. It's also going to have some indicator bars down the side. Will tell me when I'm getting close, so I can do that.
Right.
But then I can switch that up and use my assist features. I might have dug my trench. I've used that. I know I'm within 20 mil where I need to be. Now I flick my assist on, and I'm actually now semi-autonomous, BT. I'm actually only pulling one lever, and the machine is controlling the boom, and the machine is controlling the bucket and staying on grade for me. So I get close to my finished grade, and then I want to do my last pass to level that pipe out. I let the machine take that for me.
The finite pass.
Yep, and then I know I'm absolutely on grade. That's the assist part, assisting the operator to be more productive. Now I've dug my trench, I've done my assist pass, I'm right on grade. Every time I'm digging out of that trench, my payload's on as well at the same time. I'm actually measuring how much dirt I'm taking out of that trench. That might be just for productivity, or it could be that I'm loading that truck that's going down the road.
And does it keep the tally? Total tally for the day.
Tally,
So at the end
truck
of the day,
tally, material tally.
I've loaded 200 tonnes, bang.
The other really important thing, BT, is I don't want to send that truck down the road overloaded.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually liable as the contractor. If there's an accident happens and that truck's gone down the road, under the duty of care, I'm tied up in that. I want to know, I want to cover my ass, I want to know that that truck I've sent down the road is not overloaded. So yes, it's tally and materials and knowing production, but it's also very much about a safety element as well. The other thing is I'm digging all that out there. Remember what I said before? So I'm digging my trench, I'm doing the last pass, I'm measuring the dirt. By the way, I've got an obstacle or a no-go zone over here. I've set that E-swing and I can't enter into that area. Where this really kicks up a gear is I can do use all four of those technologies and do all four of those things on one screen simultaneously. No one's ever been able to do that before.
Can't. That's impossible.
Yep.
No.
So that's the magic of the technology. It's overlaying technology over itself because it's all embedded in the one machine and the one screen. That's the secret of the technology aspect of Next Gen. What I really want to talk about now, though, is other things. This is not just technology. Yes, Next Gen sets a benchmark for technology that's got all the others scrambling to catch up. But I'm going to walk you around some other things, a bit deeper dive. It's more than that. This was a fresh sheet of paper when Cat started with this, and they've taken the opportunity to put some other really smarts in there that you won't see in anybody else.
So I just noticed all that stuff you're just talking about. I don't know whether you can bring a camera around this side and get a shot up here. I noticed that all I know is that thing up there is a sensor. It looks like a sensor to me. You can see it there just plugged in with that cord. That sensor is part of what you're talking about in terms of control, or is that operating angle or something? What's that? What is that sensor up there doing?
So that's an inertia measuring unit. So that's the latest in technology from a sensor's perspective. Very accurate, very fast response rate. It's basically measuring the angle of the boom in real time,
Which
very quickly.
helps you then with the dig.
That's how it knows. It's got one
Right.
of them up there. It's got one of them down on the chassis, and it's got one of them on the stick. all the same.
Right.
Common parts. That's another big feature which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. Those sensors are standard on the Next Gen Performance Series range.
Very good.
That sensor does multiple things. Think about that smartphone. That same one sensor in that smartphone does different things depending on which app you put over the top of it. That's exactly what we've done here. Build the smarts into the machine first, and then you just build on it with the software, with the apps. And that's a lot of what the Next Gen philosophy is about. But I want to show you some more things around the machines. You know, as a fitter, as a diesel mechanic, I get really excited about some of the nuts and bolts, some of the things you don't necessarily pick up when you're reading a brochure or see a spec sheet.
I want to see those.
Okay, come around here with me.
I can't wait, mate. By the way, who do you barrack for in the footy, mate?
Demons, mate.
Demons?
Yes.
What, if you could put your finger on what's wrong with the Demons at the moment, what do you think it'd be?
Oh, just that Guy Regoni's not playing anymore.
Guy's on shortly. He's coming up shortly. Stay tuned. He's with us. All right, tell us.
Okay, so we come to the front of the machine. The one thing I wanted to talk to you about, and you'll see this recurring theme as the guys walk around the different products today, is commonality. Now, it used to be a real feature of Caterpillar, commonality, using similar parts across machines. It's really important. Cat lost their way a little bit with that, but with the Next Gen platform, they've got right back onto that, better than ever. And commonality is about manufacturing. Velocity in terms of how quickly you can build and keeping the price down. If you build lots of one wheel, you can build it quickly. So commonality, give you an idea, when we started the previous series, we had 28 different chassis of excavators. Now we've got 12 versions, but we've got more models than we've ever had.
So it becomes more familiar
automatically. More familiar, easy to manufacture, all that sort of stuff. We had 16 different part number filters, and now we've got 4 different part number filters. So that's less parts for the dealer to carry, less parts for the customers. Okay, commonality. The thing you're going to notice straight away is visibility. I want you to get a shot in and have a look. There's no operator sitting in this cab, but have a look at the glass area in there. Have a look how low it comes down here. Have a look at your visibility into here. I can see what the operator's touching. You can't do that on most excavators, especially in this side class. We've pushed the toolbox back. We've given you visibility. In fact, we've taken the toolbox out altogether. This is now your diesel exhaust fluid fill.
I mean, the start of the toolbox, a good 300 mil back from the front of the excavator cab.
Think about your digger. Every digger out there today, you have to stand on a wet, muddy track and walk up there to get up there.
Yep.
Don't need to do that. So safety is a big thing for Caterpillar. Come forward with me, guys. I want to show you this radical new fuel tank. Reason we've gone for this type of fuel tank is obviously so we can do this complex moulding. It's a polyethylene tank. We've been using them for over 20 years. It's stronger than steel. It doesn't rust. It doesn't corrode. It doesn't have welded seams. It prevents algae growth. Come around here and have a look in there, BT. You can see what button that operator pushing on the dash. You can't do that on any other brand of excavator. Look at that visibility through there. We've opened up those sight lines.
So this whole chunk that would normally come out here and down,
gone. Yep, and you would add steps and all that. Radical. No one else is doing side entry. When we do side entry, we get nice inclined steps, punch steel, handrails so you can maintain 3 points. You can go up there nice and easy, but visibility is the #1 thing. We've really opened that up. Now, speaking of visibility, even though we've got the best visibility in the industry, you'll notice a camera up here. Standard on most of our larger machines is a 4-camera system. That gives us a 360 view of the machine in addition to those sight lines. Right, this is my favourite bit.
Oh,
Come in here, boys.
Here's the tricks.
The heart of any excavator is the hydraulic pump. It's just a hydraulic device. That's the heart on this machine. Now, if you guys get in there and have a look, the first thing anyone that knows anything about diggers is going to say, there's nothing in there. It is so simple. The magic of Next Gen from a hardware perspective in terms of the nuts and bolts of the machines is we went from having hybrid systems and very complicated hydraulic systems to try and get more efficient to now we've turned that 180 degrees and we've gone simpler. And we've been able to do that on the Next Gen because we're the first mainstream manufacturer to have electro-hydraulics. So traditionally you had low pressure oil controlling high pressure oil. That's a pilot system. Most manufacturers have used that. We did up until recently. But then you put technology on and it needs electrics to control the low pressure to control the high pressure. You're just compounding all this, creating delays, you're losing efficiency. By going direct electric controlling the high pressure and getting rid of that whole pilot system, we've actually made the system simpler, more reliable, with less components.
Do you go to bed dreaming about this stuff, Glenn? Do you wake up at night and say, "Oh, the bloody hydraulic pump! It's the best pump in the world." And do you dream about this?
Was it that obvious?
You seem to like it. It's pretty good.
It's a pretty revolutionary product. When I got involved with this with Caterpillar in 2017, it was pretty exciting stuff. So, to give you an idea, this machine has 1 less pump, 2 less filters, 30 metres less hydraulic hose, and 60 less fittings than its predecessor. So this is our most fuel efficient, most powerful, most improved hydraulic system we've ever had, and it's the most simple as well. Simple is good, less hoses, less rubbing. Filters in here, you'll notice Cat have gone away from spin-on filters, and that's part of their sustainability goals. So you're actually throwing away less waste when you change the filters. You're going back to cartridges. A, they're cheaper to buy, and B, you've got less waste. So that's part of Caterpillar's
Black
sustainability.
panels up the top, blocking heat.
Yep, blocking heat. We've got non-metallic, long fibre injection doors on here to reduce sound, give us a nice streamline like that smartphone. Now I'm going to take you around the back, because there's only one other thing I like better than hydraulic pumps, BT.
Don't tell me you like the curves of this thing, Glenn.
Oh.
The way it just curves around, mate.
I am a curvy fellow, so I do like a curve. This is my other favourite thing. We'll get the boys around here. Now, if the pump is the heart, the oil is the blood. Everything on this machine relies on the oil. You've got to look after your heart, BT, and you've got to look after the oil, yeah?
Somehow I think you might have rehearsed that bit.
No, that's the way it is. When you keep that oil cool, then the oil lasts longer. If it lasts longer, you don't have to change them up. If it lasts longer and it stays cool, your seals last longer, your hoses last longer, your pumps last longer, your machine performance stays in check. The reason why Caterpillar excavators generally have a higher back end than a lot of competitors is we want a big square cooling system. Side by side, big square cooling system means you can have a big round fan and maximise it.
Look at the detail in those radiators in there.
It's well thought out, side by side, not stacked. We're the only excavator on the market with a 52-degree ambient rating. No other manufacturer comes close. And that's really important. Keep your oil cool, it lasts longer, your machine lasts longer. Now there's one other thing I want to show you, and this is being used across a lot of the next-gen products now, a completely new air cleaner system. So part of the strength of this machine is, you heard me say, less hoses, less pumps, less filters. This machine costs 25% less than its predecessor to maintain.
Really?
Over its life, so 12,000 hours, you'll put 50 less filters on this machine.
Right.
So you just think about those sort of things and how they compound. This is a new proprietary air cleaner system to Caterpillar. It's common throughout a lot of the ranges. Uses a strata tube pre-cleaner, which we've never seen in the excavator industry before. Yep. You know a Dyson vacuum cleaner?
Yes.
Spins?
Really
exactly the same. That's exactly the same Venturi like in a little Dyson. Get all that dust out before it hits the filter. Why? Filter lasts twice as long. Filter lasts twice as long, you replace it half the time, money in your pocket.
Another one of the cameras up the top there.
Another one of the cameras up the top, we've got them side to side. Okay, the other thing I want to point out, full size cab. So this is a 13-tonne excavator. Small in the scheme of things for the medium-sized machines. This is a full-size cab, same as what you get on our 90-tonner. So you're going to have all that leg room, you're going to have all that space. Nice new air suspension seat, 8 lots of adjustments, all the stuff you'd expect to see. What's different about this is no hoses coming in here, no pilot lines. You're not going to see all that heat. The hydraulic oil doesn't have to come into the cab anymore. So you're not going to bring in that heat, you're not going to bring in the noise, you're not going to bring in the dust. Best of all, I'm going to finish on this, because I could keep talking for hours, BT.
No, it's interesting.
10-inch touchscreen on this machine. So you've seen
touch screen.
Think of that like a little iPad.
Yep.
Use the smartphone analogy. That's like a little iPad running the machine. All touch screen. I can touch the screen, I can use a jog dial, or I can program all these buttons to do what I want to do. It is so set up for ease of use and getting into that technology. It's really about taking that customer to the next level. And I haven't even talked about more horsepower, more breakout force, less fuel. I haven't even got into the stuff that everybody else talks about. I've only just mentioned. Okay, don't take my word for all this though. Down in Tassie, we've got one of our reps, Angela, and she's got one of our great customers, Grant, down there, and they're going to tell you how they're using what I've just told you to advantage for their business. Thanks, BT.
Thanks, Glenn. I'm here with Grant Wardlaw from AWC Proprietary Limited on a subdivision site they're completing in Austin's Ferry here in southern Tasmania. AWC have been operating in Tasmania for nearly 30 years and currently have 5 next-gen hydraulic excavators in their large Caterpillar fleet. I'm here today with Grant to speak to him on AWC's experience so far with the next-gen product. So, Grant, thank you for your time today. The experience to date so far?
Well, since 2018, Angela, we've clocked up approximately 3,000 hours on our first next-gen excavator that we purchased. We're now running 5 amongst our fleet. We're really finding the performance, the fuel efficiency and reliability of these machines to be very good, and they've been very well accepted by the operators.
And the standout features of next gen?
The visibility out of the lower section of the front windscreen is what the operators all comment on. along with the clarity of the camera system on the rear of the counterweight and the right-hand side of the machine. It just takes those blind spots away.
NextGen have a lot of operator-assisted features. How is this being accepted by your operators?
These functions are being very well accepted by our operators, and they're starting to get a lot of use out of them. The payload system is a fantastic thing with meeting our chain of responsibility requirements. The operator can easily configure different truck configurations to suit, and it just takes a lot of that guesswork out of different types of materials, different trucks, that type of thing. The lift assist function has been very useful on this site. We've had quite a lot of concrete componentry go into this site, and it allows you to know the weight of what the component weighs and also the safety parameters that the excavator can operate in. It's taken a lot of the guesswork out of previous years, where it's just taken that human error out of it. The e-fence function has been very useful on one particular site where we're working under overhead power lines. We were able to set the machine to the exact height that we required to give us clearance under those lines, still using a spotter, and then allowing the operator to concentrate more on the job in hand.
And Grant, you've been with the company a very long time. What is your personal opinion of NextGen?
Well, I really like the pre-start functions. Everything can be carried out from the ground. There's no need to climb over a machine. And I think that's of a great personal safety to our operators. The technology in the machines is fantastic. William Adams has been fantastic with their technology support to us, and any problems that we have had have been able to be rectified very easily with a minimum of downtime. And yeah, we like the NextGen series of excavator that much. We've ordered a 315, a compact radius machine that we hope to take delivery of in January 21.
Myself and William Adams appreciate your business, Grant, and I appreciate your time here today alongside our 330 and a 326 machine that AWC took delivery of this year. So that's all from us here in Southern Tasmania, and it's back to you.
Yes, next prize draw just coming up in a moment. I just want you to have a look at over the back here. Here's all the Cat staff over there. Look at them, eagerly awaiting their opportunities, which have all come. Some have already done their business. This is the way we had to do it these days. Virtual stuff, of course, with the COVID situation. Got dozers to come, motor graders also to come as well. So look forward to those segments in a moment. But what about this? So far, we've had a look at excavators. We just heard from Glenn there. He was sensational with his all his detail on the excavators. You can see in the background the 320 there and the 313, which Glenn just went through as well. And then you get over to the micro stuff just over here. And of course, we've had a look at those as well. And you can see gleaming in the distance over there. Have a look at the barbecue over there. That's the first prize for today in amongst those $10,000 worth of prizes that we're currently giving away. So come on, we're going to go. I think we're going to do the next draw now. Don't forget, we mentioned the Cat excavators. 5 units of each of those to give away, not to give away, to sell at those incredible prices that we've got as well. The 301.5, of course, the mini excavator, $29,990. 5 of those units to sell tonight at that price until the close of business on Friday. And the 313, an $8,000 discount there for the first 5 units that are sold to the close of business this Friday as well. All right, time for the next prize giveaway. Now, unlike these beautiful, the Esky here, and losing my paperwork there, and the stools, and they've got the Milwaukee tools to give away a little bit later on. I haven't had a shot of the Barbie yet, boys. I don't know whether you can get a shot of the magnificent Matador Barbie here. Have a look at this, the 5-burner. It's a ripper. This is the major prize today, so we'll get to that very shortly as well. But we're going to give away now an opportunity to go to any event you want in Melbourne. Now, we all know that Melbourne is the capital of events, whether it be the Australian Open, whether it be the Melbourne Cup, the AFL Grand Final, the Grand Prix, which is coming up again in March, whatever it is, you have the opportunity up to $1,000 worth to select which event it is, and William Adams and Cat will get behind you and send you there as well. So that is what we're drawing now. Remember, it's a simple matter of me lifting the lever on this occasion and making sure that we give away this prize. So get ready. Here's prize number 2, $1,000, any event of your choice in Victoria, of course. Here we go. Watch the screen. Here we go. Up. And the winner is John Hovey. John Hovey, the winner of any event, an event of his choice in Melbourne. John, wherever you want to go, whatever event it is in Melbourne, you are away. So a very, very lucky man. So we've got the Milwaukee Tools coming up next, the Matador Barbecue coming up a little bit later as well. This is absolutely fantastic. Today, I mean, I'm learning so much. We've got the experts in each of the units out there that we're learning about. So stay with us. As I said, the motor graders, the dozers to come, a little bit more on excavators as well. Stay with us. Plenty more to come.
First impressions of the 325 was probably wow, because I'd come out of conventional excavator. I could get in, around things a lot easier. What I like about the blade is extra stability. It gives the machine, there's a float function on it, so when I'm working on the cement treated, nice hard surface, you can dump loads on it and just push it out without digging into making a mess. The noise levels in the machine is probably the quietest I've ever sat in. The 320 was quiet, this is quieter again. Visually sitting in the machine, with the boom sitting where it sits a long way back, so you got good clear vision out, especially when you're pushing with the blade, you can see very well. The controls are actually lighter, so it's less pull on your body at the end of the day. Sitting in the machine all day, I don't get a sore back. In other machines, I've had sore backs and thought, do I really need to be doing this anymore? Features like cameras, and I actually can't live without them now. I've been in other machines since, and I keep looking for my cameras and all the other features that come with the machine standard. The Lift Assist app is very good. We use it on the Tier 1 jobs to promote safety. Gives us a bit of a standout from other machines because we've got something others don't have. It gives a clear real-time lift weight on something we're lifting, plus it's got the audible alarm, it highlights red if you shouldn't be lifting it in those zones. I think the Fuel Edge program's great. It gives you a little bit of reassurance. 325's great machine, the others just didn't even compare in the same league.
Occupational health and health officers are a little bit worried about me up here, but I tell you what, the reason I'm up here is I'm trying to get the height where this guy, John Merlo, the absolute wizard of diggers, of any implements really, he's up there in this 325 and he's about to do a bit of a live demo for us. So here we are, John Merlo. This guy is flowing all over the world. He's one of the world's best operators. So if you sitting at home think you're a good operator, I tell you what, this guy up here, he is the best.
Hey, thanks BT. You heard just Glenn talk about all the functions that the Next Gen Excavator's got to offer. You know, you heard him talking about apps and technology. Well, this is one of the industry firsts as well. So the new Next Gen Excavator has a feature or an app, however you want to call it, with Lift Assist. So what that enables an operator to do today is safely lift a suspended load in any work application. And you'll see this in a minute when I start to demonstrate it. The thing I want to just highlight now, guys, is I just want to highlight that the machine has been calibrated, and I'm going to take the machine outside its working envelope to demonstrate the capability of the machine. So I don't encourage anyone to do this, it's just purely and simply for the exercise. So you'll see now that when I raise the boom up in the air, you'll see I'm going to pick up a trench out of the ground. Now what happens is, to activate lift assist, I can just turn the lift assist function on. Now the operator has live information at any one point in time. So what the machine does is it tells us at the bottom of the screen here, it tells us that the machine's capable of lifting 5 tonne. The actual load on the machine is actually lifting 2.4 tonne. It gives us a reach, so it measures from the centre point of the boom to where the suspended load is, and it gives us a height that it's off the ground. So what will happen now is that this machine will tell us that we're at 47% of its lifting capability. So I'm going to demonstrate this now, and you're going to see that as I swing this machine around, the machine will get highlighted on the graphical gauge here and tell you exactly what position that it's sitting at. So what will happen now is you'll see it, we're at 65%, 56%. It's a live measurement. It's measuring the actual suspended load live. Now, if I take the load out and get it into a lesser stability point on the machine, you'll see that what will happen is, as I start to throw the load out, you'll see how it's gone into an overload situation, and it actually tells you to reduce the load on hand. So in other words, what the machine is telling the operator is, hey, bring the load in because there's a high chance that you potentially could tip the machine over or drop the load. So particularly critical when pipe layers are layering pipes into a trench. The thing is, it'll give you a 3-stage warning. So you'll see that as I lower the load down and I start to extend out, again you'll see that what will happen is the machine will actually tell you, and it'll tell you in writing, of what stage it's at. So you can see again in an overload, if you bring it in slightly and as you're progressing out, it'll tell you that, hey, you're nearly at the overload state, be careful. Now, as you can see, close to the rated load capacity, so the machine is just about to go into an overload sort of situation. And I'm going to extend that into an overload, as you can see. Now, the machine is still capable of moving the hydraulics. Purely and simply is you don't want the machine to lock out. So in the event you're in a situation, you want to be able, the operator would want to be able to bring that load back into its operating range and bring the load back to a safe position, so he can either resling it or reposition the machine to safely lower the load into the trench or into the ground or whatever it is that they're picking up. And it doesn't matter where you are, you'll see that the rated load changes. At the moment now we're lifting 7.6 tonne. The machine's capable of that, but we've got roughly our 2.4, 2.5 tonne. And again, you'll see that this will happen regardless of what position you put the pipe or the machine in. And I'll just demonstrate that again. The beauty about this feature is that whether you're an older operator or a newer operator, it's simple to use. It's not hard. It's just a press of a button and let the machine do the rest. It'll tell you. And you can see that. So you'll see at this point, we're 88% of the load. We won't get ourselves into an overload scenario. So we've still got plenty of room to move with this size excavator for that size pipe. But again, if I start to manoeuvre the machine around to the side again, you will see it'll start. Hey, we're getting close to our rated capacity, and then again, as I progress the machine out, you'll see it'll go into an overload, and you'll see our gauges will go from green to red there to advise that to the operator. So if we bring that load back in, the machine is back in its operating range and safe to manoeuvre that suspended load. A really simple system. Very, very nice that Caterpillar's designed this. It makes lifting suspended loads nice and easy for our customers out there in them situations like a trenching or a pipe laying situation. Thanks, BT. I'll hand it over back to you.
Good on you, Johnny. Thank you very much. A great demonstration up there on the top of the hill. We'll go back to Johnny a little bit later on. I want to introduce these next two guys. William Adams, major accounts representative, of course, and former Demon star in the background. Yes, that is Guy Rigoni. There he is, the good-looking guy. There he is right there. Big Guy and fellow William Adams supporter Glenn Bright is also with us. What are we looking at, boys? Dozers.
Yeah, thanks BT, and thanks Glenn for coming along today to just talk about your experience.
Just before we get into the experiences of the machine, Guy, the Demons, mate, there was one of the guys over there barracking for them. What is going on with them?
Mate, Sloko's a ripper, mate. He's been with the Demons through and through the good times. We didn't quite get there in 2000, but the bad times as well. He's a real legend of William Adams as well. You heard him speak before.
They've finally got a full forward. Is that going to help them?
I think so. I think we've been struggling to kick goals the last few years, so definitely having Ben Brown up there will help. We just need to be able to kick it to him now.
All right, well, we'll see how you go.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to this. You looking forward to this, Glenn? The dozer part?
Yeah, I'm very excited about talking about dozers.
I don't know much about them, so I'm going to be all ears. Go for it, guys.
Okay. Well, this is the new D6 XE. Do you know what the XE stands for, BT?
No idea.
Me either. So it's just I don't know what they call it, prefix that they put on there to show that this machine had the most technology on it. So that was the simple answer to that.
Yep.
It was similar to the GC excavator. They just had to make it an identifier. So Glenn's taken delivery of one, a couple of months ago now, your first one?
Yeah, I'd say it's a couple of months ago.
Yeah. So
what sort of business are you in, Glenn? What are you constructing?
What
are you using the dozer for?
We do a lot of water infrastructure, or bulk and heavy earthworks.
Right.
So, but it turns out there's a lot of water infrastructure, but we do roads or anything that involves heavy earth moving.
And are you looking at the D6 and up, or is this as big or as small as you'd go?
We only own D6 dozers.
Right.
We don't own anything else. But
Is there a reason for that?
Well, it suit our application for what we want to do.
Yep.
We have big excavators and articulated dump trucks for the bulk earthworks. So the big dozer for us, we don't do a lot of pushing. It's more excavating with the dozers and artics.
Glenn, you've had the D6R and the D6T, and now this latest D6. How have you found the new cab, the design cab for the operators? What's the feedback been there?
The cab is really good. It's very quiet. It doesn't seem to be, when you're sitting in there, it's not busy, which is good. There's lots of storage in there, and it's all rubberised and that now, so you can put your phone and everything, and nothing's moving around, nothing's getting damaged. The vision out of the cabs now is just absolutely fantastic. You can sit there, you can literally see everything.
Yeah, especially down here to the important parts like the blade tips and stuff.
Down there.
Are people a little bit that jump into a cab in one of these things? They're a little bit scared of the technology, or they got used to that now? I mean, everyone now knows how to use a phone.
I don't think the young blokes are scared of the technology now, and I don't think even the old guys like me, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
You sit in the cabs, it's very intuitive, it's very easy to use. So, no, I don't think that there's an issue with the technology anymore, and they've made it so seamless and easy to use. The machine virtually does it itself now anyway. You get in there, turn the revs up, put it into forward, go forward, put it into back. You don't even have to decelerate anymore on these machines. It's very easy.
Sounds easy, Guy.
It is.
How have they found, I know this is fully integrated with 3D and you use a lot of 3D technology, but the guys also, they've got just your basic 2D system in there if they're not using a design. How have they found just the ease of using the 3D or 2D?
We wouldn't use the 2D much. I mean, I know it's there if you were doing an excavation or something, you could use it. Yep. So, and the guys know how to use it, but all of our work is with the 3D. Yep. So, in terms of the using of it, well, it's fantastic. It's easy, like anybody can do it now. Yep. You've got the great screen, it's right in front of you, it's sort of got your eyes forward and you can still see out your blade, which makes that very easy. The usage of the screen is very easy to see, it's very bright, and the usage of it is easy.
What about actually uploading the design? So if you're doing the design that you're doing at the moment on that dam job, how easy is it for if you get a change in the plan to upload the latest designs to it?
Well, we run what's called a connected community through a Trimble Business Centre. Yep. So I can't give you all the technical details, but basically the engineers in the office, with the surveyors, they build a model, and we just send it to our machines through the internet cell network. Yep. So. It's very easy. We can, they can identify a problem or change something in the office. Yep. they send it to the machine, and I think it is the next time the machine turns off and then turns back on, it automatically uploads the changes that are in there. So it's very easy. In terms of the job we're doing at the moment, which is a very large water storage with this huge long embankment around it, we broke it up into 200 millimetre layers because the customer specifically wanted 200 millimetre layers. They wanted a certain amount of
Material
tests per cubic metre. So they worked out how many cubic metres were in each layer, and they could make sure that they were getting the right amounts of tests. And then each day the guys get in, they say, right, we're on layer 4, 5, 6, 7. They just select it out of the design. The machine does it.
So you're not going over or under in terms of supply of those layers and costing yourself money.
Especially with the volumes they're talking about, you could blow your budget pretty quick if you stuff that up. So, what about with the XE? Obviously, it's a diesel engine running an electric motor that then powers your outboard final drives. How have you found the fuel difference between your older machines compared to this?
Well, in preparation for this, I was looking at, say, one of our D6Ts, which has done about 6,000 hours, and it was averaging about 22 to 23 litres an hour. We work our machines, and they work pretty hard because they do a lot of bulk pushing out. So this new machine, albeit it's only at like about 200 hours now, it's at 15 litres an hour. So it has been coming up slightly, but we are working very hard. So if it sticks around there a bit, I'll be pretty happy, pretty impressed. I mean, that's a huge improvement. So, very
plenty
good.
more coming if you want them. So,
well, we might have to buy a couple more. But there's no shortage. They haven't got less power; they got more power.
Well, it's actually got 215 horsepower compared to the old one that only had 200 horsepower, and it's burning less fuel. So it's the technology that they're using is getting that advantage.
It seems to monitor. I think it's reduced its fuel usage because it's got traction control or whatever it is now, and so as you're pushing forward, it's virtually a flick. You just put it in forward and you let it go, and because most of our work is done using machine control, as you go forward, it will raise its blade to maximise your production, and it obviously reduces the fuel usage through not bogging down.
How many of these would you be running at any one time, Clem?
We've only got one of this particular model.
And the older models?
I think we have six of these machines.
You going to take us for a bit of a walk around, Guy? Or not?
Definitely. I was going to ask Glenn just before we finish, while we're on the technology, just about the payload systems he's using on his excavators and his wheel loaders as well, because a lot of job sites require you to make sure you know what's going off-site. With especially with Vic Roads, you can get big fines if you're not carting the right material off or too heavy. So how have you been using that in your business?
Well, with chain of responsibility, I think it's national heavy vehicles now. So chain of responsibilities, we've all got a responsibility to do our part to make sure that, I don't know what it is, trucks aren't overloaded or that products are properly secured in there. So particularly for us, it's the loading. So using our next gen excavators and that, we're able to make sure that we're not overloading trucks, which is a real big thing. Also, having the scales in the machines and it logging how much you've moved. So we've got for instance, a big power screen or a big reclaimer. So you can work out how many tonnes you've put over that reclaimer in the day. Then you can work out what percentage of it was, coming out as clay, as your good clay that you're using, or is going as rock. And you get a really good idea, and it's all logged into the cloud, and then we can access that information.
So is that helping you on pricing down the track?
It is. So it helps on pricing. It helps for us to know how we're tracking in terms of not if we've priced the job, how we're going against what our pricing was. It helps to show the customer will obviously sometimes want to know. It also helps us on some of these level crossing removal jobs or some of these big jobs. They'll want to know because they're on such tight schedules. As everyone in Victoria will know, when they're doing a level crossing removal, it's 24 hours a day and they try to get them open as quick as they can. So the customer may want to know, where are we? Where are we right now? How many tonnes have gone? Let me see on the screen. So you can go onto your connected community and you can see a real-time view of where you are.
And you can go back using your computer and look up a certain date range that you did a certain project, and it will give you that information.
Fuel usage within that time, the government likes to know that, or government departments like to know that, and
carbon footprint and stuff.
Carbon footprint.
What do these things weigh, do you know?
Yeah, about 23 tonne. Yeah, you can spec them up a bit more with other protection systems that get up around 25, but they're roughly around 23 tonne. Yeah. But it's got a 9-litre engine in it, so pretty big engine.
Yeah.
But it's got the latest emissions, so it's got the AdBlue that everyone's using now, and the diesel to try and clean up the environment, so you're not getting the smoke out the top. That's pretty important.
Can we open that door and have a look in the cab?
Yeah, of course we can. Yep.
I wonder if we can get a camera or one of you blokes to get in nice and close with guys. Glenn spoke about the cabs before and how comfy they were, and pretty roomy, Glenn, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a real feature of the machine now, is these good cabs from the operator's perspective. You know, they're working at a lower rev. They're about 500 revs lower on your normal usage now. So you're sitting at about 1500 revs, and you think, well, what's that really do for you? Well, it does a lot when you're sitting
all day in it.
All day in it. The reduction in the noise, the cabin seems to be a lot quieter. I keep talking about how busy it is. Well, you know, they're so much easier. Even with the electric drive, the change of direction, like we literally used to, it was pretty easy. You'd flick on a normal dozy, you'd flick the switch to go backwards, but you would decelerate and then it'd go back. With this thing, you just drive forward and just go flick into reverse, and you don't do anything. It does it all itself. It just stops and goes back. Very, very...
You don't get that sudden...
You don't get sudden movement. It monitors it, does it all itself.
See, if you were my boss, Glenn, and I was working for you... And
well, you're too big, so I wouldn't employ you, Glenn, wouldn't
and you presented me with one of these, I'd be pretty excited as an employee. I mean, when you roll up with a piece of new machinery like this, there must be a queue for guys wanting to drive it. Is it a matter of rewarding the guy that's been with you the most, or the best operator? How do you do it? It's tricky.
That's a very tricky question.
It's a very tricky question. You've got to be careful how you answer.
I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure. Certainly, yes, they would like
they
people.
Would be wrapped. I mean, if you got this presented to you, guy, how happy would you be? You'd
feel
pretty.
Go home. I'd probably sit in it for overnight as well. Just so excited.
I mean, you'd feel pretty important. You'd feel like that company really, you know, cares about me and they're delivering this sort of product.
I guess so. I mean, all of the machines, like the excavators, the wheel loaders, the articulated dump trucks, if you look at where they are today, back when I started, you know, like the difference is just poles apart. But these guys, these young blokes, you know, they seem to get used to getting this better stuff now. They get all the good toys. But for me, every time I sit in these types of machines, I go, this is just absolutely awesome. Yes, they do appreciate it.
Come on, walk us around. We've got 6 or 7 minutes to have a bit of a look at this. Then I'm sure people would love to.
There's some safety stuff built into it. Look, with the lockable isolator, it's really important on a lot of job sites that you be able to isolate the machine if mechanics are working on it or they're servicing the machine. So it's really easy. This one's actually got a heater, so for over in the States where it's really cold, they can actually warm the engine up. They can plug it in overnight, so if it's in really freezing conditions, it will actually keep the engine just warm. It runs water around the block and stuff. You've got your emergency shutdown if there's a fire. It shuts all the fuel off so it doesn't fuel the fire if you have a fire. It's also got, because it's got AdBlue, there's a light in there that actually does a purge on itself. So when you turn the key off on this machine, it actually pumps the AdBlue back to the tank so it doesn't freeze and it doesn't evaporate in the line. So.
How many cameras on these things?
This one's only got 2. You can option up with a lot more. So, but generally it's on your blind side and your reverse.
The comment on the cameras is that it's so good, the reversing camera, that it's so good, the guys nearly don't even want to look out the back because the camera's right in front of them, and as soon as they hit into reverse, they can see nearly better than turning out the window and looking themselves because it gives them the proper view.
What sort of volume can we push? Might get a look at these front blades. What sort of
volume?
The
blade's about 3.3 across. So on the pushing volume, Glenn, you probably know that more than me, roughly what it can carry, but I did have the specs there before.
Good on your riggers
I can't remember.
But I'd say it's a fair bit.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You know, if you're pushing out, if you had 3,000 or 4,000 cubic metres a day to push out, you know, that'd be a lot for it, but it would be able to do that.
You'd be a tough boss, I reckon, Glenn. I know this is one that you've ordered and you've already got 6 lights on it, so you're asking your guys to work 24 hours a day, are you?
On the back of the blade, BT, if you have a look, that's the main sensor for the blade, so it gives you all your angle and pitch and that of the blade. So it feeds it back into this behind this plate here.
Can we get a camera in and
Yeah.
just have a look at that sensor there?
So the sensor behind that yellow plate, it actually tells the screen at what angle the blade is sitting at in relation to the body of the tractor at any one time. So in the cab, you'll get feedback about pitch and roll for the machine, if it's downhill or uphill,
Yep.
and also sideways. So it will give you that. Just even if you're not using GPS, you can still use that as a guide that you're on level ground. So
What sort of horsepower did you say we've got?
215 horsepower.
Right.
Yep, out of a 9.3 litre engine. With all the emissions, so it's pretty quiet with all the emission package on there. It's nearly like it's got 2 mufflers on it because
Engine accessibility?
really good. Both sides you can
Yep.
get to. Easy to service for the mechanics, or if you're running your own mechanics like Glenn does, it's easy for the guys to get to the service components just by removing some of the guards. Actually, just lift out, so it's ease of access to the filters.
Tracks, how long are they lasting?
Depending on what material you're actually using. So generally, your rule of thumb, you should get 7,000 to 8,000 hours out of a set of conventional tracks. Glenn's running the extra wide ones, which are for soft underfoot, and you tend not to get quite as many hours because they move a lot to keep it. The flotation is a lot higher, but also the wear on that is a lot.
Is that about what
lot
you're
higher.
getting out of tracks, Glenn?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, yeah, they vary with the tracks now.
All right, come on, Guy,
So
point out something
you've also
else for
got
us.
the mounts here. So if you
Yep.
didn't have our factory 3D, they actually can mount opposition brand receivers on here to do the same thing. And there's customers out there that prefer different options for their technology. So we've still got the plug and play that you can actually hook up to this machine if you wanted to.
And UTS.
And UTS, so it gets you within millimetre. So UTS 3D gets you about 20 to 25 mil tolerance. But if you put a UTS receiver on it, you can trim to millimetre. So
Come over here, Glenn. I want you to stand in front of this blade. You're a big fella. And we'll just get an idea of the size of that blade. It's pretty bloody big.
yeah.
And got a really good pushing capacity.
So this is a semi-U blade, so it's designed more for cutting and carrying the load material when you cut and boxing out, where you can get other blades at a variable angle for the same dozer, so you can choose what setup you want, and that helps more for shaping and other things.
As a customer, when you're buying one of these things, Glenn, what are you thinking about in terms of hours, years that you need to get out of a machine like this to make it worthwhile?
Well, it depends, but usually with our dozers, you would like to get up towards 10,000 hours. You'll get
Right.
10,000 trouble-free hours out of this machine,
Yep.
which usually means you've run through one set of tracks.
Yep.
But they're getting better and better, and they, these machines, you don't have trouble with them anymore.
Yep.
We worry about the technology a bit, and we always did, but we haven't had any trouble with it. So,
And when you
really
get the
good.
factory technology package, you get the 3 year, 6,000 hours total coverage on everything. So it covers the technology, so that helps people with peace of mind if they're worrying about that electronic side of the system. So.
Come around this side a bit, mate. If there's one thing in this machine, Guy, that
Yep.
I'm your customer,
Yep.
I'm Glenn for a day.
Yep.
And there's one thing that you need to get me over the line. What are you going to tell me about this machine? What's the one thing that you think might get me over the line to buy it?
The cab BT, because the
Right.
seat will handle you, no worries. It's rated to about 150 kilos, and
Oh.
you're looking pretty fit these days, so I reckon you're
Hey.
all right. So.
You're cutting close to the bone there. Stop laughing, Glenn. That's not that funny.
But the pressurised cab, and just it's an on rubber mount, so it's very, very quiet in the cab for the operator. So he's not getting that droning all day, every day, and you want to keep your operators happy. Otherwise, they go down the road to someone else. So.
Yep. Rippers out the back here.
Yeah, yep. So ripping, tight ground, like if you are trying to box out, you can pre-rip. So they'll go down to a bit over a metre. You can rip down and then box out with the blade after that. So they're designed more for just breaking up the material, and then you can dose it out. Yeah,
You
helps
guys
you spread
using
it.
these much, Glenn?
We do use the rippers. We haven't got them on our machine because it's a swamp dozer, but we use them on our conventional machines the same as this, yeah.
Back of the box, air conditioning unit up there, pretty big, isn't it?
They try and keep it out of the engine bay, so you're not getting the engine heat coming through your aircon like
okay,
they used
that's
to.
why
So
it's mounted on the
that's
exterior.
why it's mounted up the top, and keeps it out of the dust. If it's high, you get it up. Coming down with all built-in beacons, so hazard, so they flash orange. You can see them. There's one on each side and at the front, so it's very clear to see when you're out on site that you're not going to get run over by the dozer. Hopefully.
Come back around this side. We'll get in the shade.
Yep.
Pretty hot here
Safety,
today.
you can talk
Yeah,
about
you
that.
got the step.
Yeah,
you got the
step.
safety step to get up and
Tell
fill,
us about that.
fill
Talk
it
us
up with
through that.
diesel. Yeah, so most accidents happen when the guys are tired, and generally they're filling up the machine at the end of the day, so it's ready for tomorrow. So you got
Show us how to get up there.
Yep. So you got your 3 points of contact, so you can actually safely get up here, and actually fill the diesel tank here. Like I said, because you don't want your blokes falling down on the ripper and hurting their back and that, and then they're on work cover. So it's really important to make it safe for the guys to do their servicing tasks. So it's really important.
Bloody good machine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Technology.
Oh, the technology's incredible.
It's lovely to have a lovely cab,
Yeah.
and it's nice for the operators, but we're in it for the money.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the money is in the technology.
Right.
And that's what makes a machine produce, and it's lowering its fuel usage, and from an environmental perspective, it looks good for our business to be, not using as much fuel and not blowing smoke out in the sky, and also with the technology, because you're producing so much more with the same amount, with per litre of fuel used. That's very good.
I mean, we've had, all the jets around the world, the A380s, and they've just got better and better, more efficient fuel loads. Exactly the same with this next gen, or these next gen toys, isn't it?
Exactly, because a lot of the countries have carbon credits and stuff for it all comes back to per litre of fuel. How much fuel you burn is how much carbon footprint you put up there. So if you can limit the amount of fuel you're burning, that's really important.
So, Glenn, for you, in terms of fuel, is that one of the main attractions when you buy something like this, that you are first checking what the rate of fuel burn in these is?
I wouldn't have thought so. I mean, it's very important, obviously, but production. It's
Production.
all about production for
Right.
us and what they can produce. The technology is what produces for us. So, it's not about the traction of the machine. Obviously, those things count. They've got that pretty sorted. It's all about the technology and what that can do for you, and you're increasing production, which increases your economy, if you like, because you produce more per litre used, but they're using a lot less fuel as well as giving you a lot more production and more power.
Guy, I'm going to give you 20 seconds to sum this machine up in your own words, mate. Give it to us.
This D6XE, it's a very special machine, and it can make your business a lot of money through less parts that you have to maintain with the electric drive. So thanks, Glenn, for your time today, and
Good on,
really
mate.
appreciate the feedback. We really appreciate our customer feedback, because it helps us sell machines with the benefits you find out of it. So thanks very much.
All right, thank you.
Well, buddy. Thank you.
Good on you guys. Well done over there, Guy and Glenn, in front of that magnificent D6 unit over there. Thank you to those guys over there. Time now to have a bit of a look at the Cat technology video. Stay tuned, have a look at this.
Hi, I'm Terence Reeves, the Technology and Innovation Manager here at William Adams. Since the introduction of Next Gen machine lineup, we have grown our technology support capability across the region with the addition of highly experienced technology specialists and by partnering with SiteTech to offer a market-leading technology support service. You may be asking yourself, what is technology support and why do I need it? Well, let me answer that for you. Factory and third-party fitted machine control and guidance technologies are a great aid to the civil contractor and can provide considerable improvements in productivity, efficiency, safety, and accuracy. When discussing any machine technology system, we must understand that there are really two different technologies. These are the factory-installed systems on board the machine or the supporting infrastructure off-board the machine, known as the site environment. Given these two technologies require different specialist capabilities and skill sets to maintain and support, William Adams has partnered with SiteTech to provide both onboard and off-board technology support through 3 different levels of support packages. The William Adams Standard Package provides a limited range of services which consist of phone and email support, remote software updates, and an annual support summary. The William Adams Premium Package provides all the standard services but also covers some on-site services including on-site operator training, bucket measure-ups, and an annual 3D system calibration certificate. This premium level package also gives the customer priority response over the standard support level. The SiteTech Blue Package is available to purchase through William Adams with any machine sale at a discounted rate as an optional upgrade to the standard or premium support package. It's good insurance against what could be a very costly exercise in downtime if you have no one to identify and fix site environment issues that can occur on every site. The Blue Package provides unlimited access to Trimble dealer resources, phone support, remote support for site-related issues, and assistance with site environment support when machines are moved between projects. The Premium Package, coupled with the Blue Package, will give you the peace of mind that wherever your machines may be working, they are completely supported. One of the powerful tools that we use here at William Adams to be able to provide such a comprehensive support is Cat Remote Services. We utilise Remote Flash to keep your machine's firmware up to date and Remote Troubleshoot to assist in determining the cause of the issue prior to attending site. Now, let's take a look at this video introducing Cat Remote Services and how we can reduce your downtime and provide new features remotely. Thank you.
There's a new way to troubleshoot equipment problems and keep machine software up to date. One that can reduce your downtime by as much as 50%. Introducing Remote Services from Caterpillar. It's technology that lets your dealer perform certain diagnostics and updates from afar, so you can keep working productively. Remote Troubleshoot makes problem detection simple. Say you receive a high engine coolant temperature alert. Instead of shutting down the machine, you call your dealer and report the fault code. While the machine continues to run, your dealer initiates a remote troubleshoot session, views live diagnostics, and discovers the issue. The operator disabled the reversing fan, causing debris buildup. The dealer then sends a technician with the exact tools and instructions to fix the problem, fast. Remote Flash delivers software updates on your schedule. When you get a notification that new software is available, your dealer can flash the update to your equipment remotely, when it's convenient for you. There's no need to wait for a technician to arrive on site. You get all the performance and productivity benefits of the latest update without taking the machine off the job. An effective job site is a profitable job site. And Remote Services from Caterpillar delivers maximum efficiency with minimum downtime, saving you time and money. Ask your dealer about putting Remote Troubleshoot and Remote Flash to work today.
My name's Angelo D'Amico. I'm Director and Operations Manager at Montarmi Constructions. We get variance between infrastructure projects, subdivisional land development projects, be that industrial, commercial, but primarily residential. Some of the biggest challenges, I suppose, with having a large fleet of equipment is downtime for servicing. Product link data gives us plenty of lead time when major services are required, so we're always eliminating a lot of downtime. The differences that we've noticed mainly between the GC and our previous D-series models, savings on fuel efficiency, operator comfort, safety, more with regards to visibility, increased visibility, power, economy, they're all major factors. So this machine can be applied to trenching, drainage applications, can be used for detailed excavations, bulk excavations. We find it quite versatile amongst those different applications. Some of the safety features that we really like with this model machine, we've got reverse cameras on the back, just increasing the operator's awareness of their surrounding environment. Feedback from our operators has been fantastic about the 320 GC, particularly comfort levels, efficiencies, power of the machine, even simple things like reading the oil levels from ground level. It's definitely feel a lot safer in that environment. I think reliability is absolutely paramount in what we do. We haven't had any minor mechanical malfunctions. Maintenance is nice and easy. I think that reliability is something that's really worthwhile with this product. You're going to see good advantages quickly. You're going to have increased operator comfort, efficiency. You'll save on fuel and the safety of the machine. Probably just that, we've had a lot of success in the past with the previous generation, that being the D-series Cat excavators. Judging from the results we're having now with the two 320 GCs already in our plant, we intend on buying a lot of future models once they're being released and adding to our capabilities in construction. We've chosen Cat because of our really long-term relationship, particularly with the dealers, William Adams. They've dealt with my family for in excess of 40 years. We've got a very good, strong, healthy and long-standing relationship with William Adams.
Big welcome back to everybody out there. Welcome back to the Cat Live Festival here. You can see those two guys in the background, two of the absolute brains behind the whole Cat range. Over there chatting about, we might go and have a bit of a chat with these two guys. Glenn, of course, you've met. John Merlo was doing the lift up there on the hill. And what are you guys over? Two of the experts over here chatting. What are you chatting about, by the way?
Well, we're sort of reminiscing about the old days where the old 966 in the heyday used to be the benchmark in the industry. There used to be 966s everywhere, in every sand pit, every quarry operation. 966s were everywhere, and it's just interesting to see how loaders have grown in the quarry business today, and the old 966 has sort of taken a step back in its life. But it's interesting to see this machine. And
now, just before we go any further on the 966, you were up on the hill a minute ago with my excavator, my favourite excavator up there, and I had an opportunity the other day. We had to lift a counterweight off a broken excavator.
Wasn't a Cat, was it?
It definitely wasn't a Cat. It was some other heap, and we were a little bit uncertain of the weight of the the what do you call it, the counterweight. And then the arm, how far it could stretch, and what we could lift at what stretch. What can you tell me about that? I was a little worried.
That was a classic example. That next-gen excavator with that lift assist gives you exactly the weight that the machine's capable of picking up, and it doesn't matter what the ground conditions are. It's got sensors in there to tell the machine, hey, I'm sitting on an angle. Right. I can only lift this much, and if you take it further than that, you're going to get into an overload like you saw.
Good-looking machine, this, Glenn.
It is, yeah. We were just talking about, we mentioned payload on some of the excavators, so you know what weight's in the bucket. This machine has the same feature, tells you what weight's in the bucket. In fact, that truck has the same feature. This one, has a payload system on it. So that 730 truck knows how much weight's in it. That loader knows how much weight's going in. When you were talking to Glenn, the customer, it's all about these connected machines. They all know what each other's doing. And the data that you can pull off these in terms of measuring your job production and estimating your job production, because you're getting that data, is just so powerful.
Amazing machines, aren't they? Big. You had much to do with these, Johnny?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, no, the old 730s, the articulated trucks, they're
What can you tell me about them?
well, they're designed for poor underfoot conditions, so you can get these in really swampy conditions and still be productive and cart material from point A to point B with them. You know, they isolate, they
Carry capacity?
it's about 30 imperial tonnes, roughly about 28 metric tonnes on the truck.
Dump capacity in this?
So you've got about a 4.1 metre bucket on it. So yeah, so depending on the density of your material, you're probably looking at about, well, 4 to 6 bucket loads, and that truck's full.
See, I put those couple of questions to him, Glenn, because I thought he wouldn't quite know the info, but he's absolutely all over it. He's pretty good.
He's the best in the job.
In terms of knowledge, you two are the coming close. We can get a tight shot here, but in terms of world experts, I mean, this is a bit of a face-off between the two of you. Who would you say knows the Cat machinery better out of the two of you?
Glenn.
Okay, and who's the better operator?
Absolutely, John's the man.
Is it true that you travel around the world doing
operation
gigs?
Yeah, I'm fortunate enough to get a Guernsey overseas from time to time.
So, Glenn,
yeah.
you send him overseas to operate some machine that's in a difficult situation or to show someone what it can do. Is that right?
I think that's actually the beauty of our relationship. I get to send John around the world to go and drive him. He comes back and tells me all the great things, and we sit there and chat about it with a grin on our face and love every minute of it.
So your information is really important because, I mean, in the end, that's going to come back to head office, to the engineers. The engineers are going to ask you, you know, how did that work? They're going to build around things that you often say.
Yeah, well, I'm sort of privileged, you know. I get to work with the Caterpillar guys from time to time. I have the opportunity to go to the factories and throw a little bit of input in new product design, which is interesting, and so I'm very, very fortunate that I'm able to do that as well.
Two legends. Now, you told me you got someone to meet. Who am I meeting next?
I have. So if you look over my shoulder, you can see a sticker that's a little different from what you've seen today.
966 GC.
Yeah, we're going to have a chat to Anitza Milisek. Anitza's with Caterpillar. She's the territory manager, so she's like our rep.
Yep.
She's going to introduce you to the whole GC range. So we haven't even talked about this yet. So come on down, I'll introduce you to Anitza.
Ah, very good. Here she is. Hi, Anitza.
Anitza, BT.
Thank you, guys, by the way. Those two guys are incredible, aren't they?
They certainly are.
They certainly are. Now, what have you got to tell me?
Well, Brian, thank you. Having worked with Caterpillar for many years so far, this would have to be one of our most exciting times for the company, having just released the GC range of equipment. Worthwhile noting at this point that over the past couple of years, you may have noticed some minor changes to our machine model lineup, more noticeably around the lettering that follows the machine model. We've enabled us to limit the references to a couple, and one of these being the GC.
I was going to ask you about the GC. What does it all mean?
Right. The GC representing Caterpillar's standard offering in the market.
Caterpillar's standing offering in the market. What does that mean in layman's terms?
Sure. So the GC is not an acronym, so it doesn't stand for any couple of words or two words, but what it does represent is Caterpillar's standard offering in the market. These are the same next generation machines you've just seen before me with Glenn and John Merlot. However, for customers that don't require that higher level of technology, but still expect the same Cat DNA with electro-hydraulics, the Cat user interface, fuel technology, engine technology. The GC also comes with Tier 3 emissions technology, which for most part removes the need to manage diesel exhaust fluid. Our standard offering delivers proven affordability, durability, reliability and efficiencies that you'd expect from your Cat machine. We at Caterpillar call it the GC effect.
And where can you use, what sort of range can you use these sort of machines in?
Sure. So Caterpillar introduced the GC range of products. As you probably know, we lead the world in construction technology, enabled products and solutions. We understand that customers don't always necessarily need that high level of performance and therefore do not value a performance machine. We have and continue to release the GC range of products to better serve our customers with the same reliability, durability and the warranties you'd expect from a Cat machine. The Caterpillar GC range of equipment is here to stay. What I can assure you is that the range will only continue to expand as we move forward.
Right, so everyone's happy with it. What's the feedback been? All good?
Feedback's been great. We can't get enough of them.
Yep.
So it's been a real treat for the market and our customers.
And tell us a little bit about your role at William Adams.
About my role,
Yep.
so I work for Caterpillar.
Yep.
So I'm a national account manager with Cat and have been with Cat for about 23 years.
What I've learned here today is everyone that works with either Cat or William Adams knows their product really well.
Sure, we do. We bleed yellow as they we get a big yellow injection when we start and we bleed yellow throughout. So we love our brand and what it stands for.
All right. Well, how can you sum it up? How can you sum
Sure.
the whole GC situation up for us?
Okay. So what I can tell you is that the current GC range includes small, medium and large excavators, medium wheel loaders, articulated trucks and soon-to-be released rollers. What I can say, what makes it really exciting is that customers that previously thought they didn't need or potentially couldn't afford a Cat machine are now seeing the benefits of owning a Cat machine.
Well done, Anitza. That is great for everyone out there to know about the GC and what it stands for and what it does. So thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Brian.
Good on you. Thank you very much. Plenty more to come. Stay with us on the other side of the break. We have got more and we're about to draw our next prize.
Hi ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jevon Davenport, Product Support Sales Manager at William Adams. Thank you for joining us today and hope you're enjoying the exposure to the latest product range, enabling you to get more work done with less effort. Our product support sales team have one goal in mind to help you get the most of your purchase, and that is to ensure you achieve the best return on your investment. This year, William Adams has added a senior position into our team responsible for ensuring successful customer outcomes with our ground engaging tools and undercarriage. Ground engaging tools, or GET as we like to call them, are one of the most critical aspects of your machine, as the right selection impacts your productivity, your fuel consumption, component life and ultimately the value through your business. One of the outcomes from Caterpillar's extensive research and development commitment has been in the introduction of Advancis GET, a safe, simple and efficient solution for your bucket. The hammerless technology enables you to safely get back to work with almost no downtime. New tip shapes put material where you need it, and adapter design reduces stress by up to 50%, giving 25% adapter life increase versus K-Series. This year alone, we have had 111 buckets converted to this solution, so thank you to those taking advantage. So whether you're looking for GET for your new Cat equipment or any other equipment in your fleet, talk to our product support team who can help ensure you have the best configuration and work with a global team of highly skilled people to lower your costs and increase your productivity. Enjoy the rest of the session and back to you guys at Merlot Hills.
Welcome back, everybody. Hope you're enjoying what you've seen so far. Still plenty more to come. We've got the motor graders coming up very, very shortly as well for anyone interested in those, and I'm sure there are many. Don't forget the special prices that we have on the 301.5, the next gen machine, the mini excavator. Current special $29,990. First 5 units sold up until the close of play on Friday, and the same for the 313 next gen excavator as well. An $8,000 discount there. First 5 units that are sold up until the close of business on Friday as well. You need to be registered to be able to do that. www.williamadamscatlivefestival.com.au are the ones to go. So far, we have given away prizes in terms of the Cat stools, the esky. We've given away the tickets to a Melbourne major event, of course. Got the Milwaukee tools, thanks to Total Tools in Dandenong, coming up shortly. Got the magnificent first prize here, the old Matador barbecue. It is an absolute ripper. I don't know about 5 burners. It looks like it's got about 10. But what we're going to draw now is 3 days usage of this particular machine here, the 301.5. So this is up for you now. 3 days. Do as you wish with it. Give it a bit of a test. See how it runs. It's on the trailer. All you got to do is bring your car in, hook it up, and away you go. So I'm going to go back over here and pull the lever to find out who has won the opportunity to have this out of the Cat Hire department for 3 days. We're ready to go. Let's pull the lever and find out who's got this. Go. Bronwyn Smith has won the magnificent Cat machine over here. Come with me and have a look at this. Congratulations to you, Bronwyn. You have won this for a 3-day usage. You have got it for 3 days. Do as you wish with it and enjoy the opportunity to use this wonderful little micro machine here. It is an absolute ripper. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it has been absolutely fantastic out here. You can see the range that we've got through so far. And next, over there to the left-hand side, the motor graders coming up very, very shortly.